No, you read that title correctly. I'm going to tell you how you can plan out the perfect scouting year and how video games can help you do it. How, you may ask? Well, stay tuned and let's find out. If you're new to this channel, we're on a mission to inspire and inform new scouting parents and adult leaders. Today, we're going to talk about how you can plan out your perfect scouting program year, and we're going to use video games as a reference to help understand how to plan out your year. Also, in case you're wondering, why am I on a trail wearing a weighted vest? It's because I'm still recovering from the effects of pneumonia, and until I'm cleared from a doctor to be able to run, I'm just going to be walking around in my weighted vest. I have a couple of half marathons that I want to conquer in the month of March, so I got to stay healthy because the upcoming year I've got this grand vision about everything that I can accomplish, and being fit is one of them. Which brings us to our first step in planning the perfect scouting year, and that's having a clear vision of what a perfect scouting year looks like to you. Because what a perfect year looks like to one person may look overwhelming or underwhelming depending on who they are. In my last video, I talked about reflection and how we can learn from the good and the bad of the previous year. Now, it's time to pull all that information together and form a picture of what your perfect scouting year can look like. And I know that sounds a little bit corporate, but having a vision of what the perfect year is going to look like is going to help guide you through this process of planning. A vision, for those who don't know, is meant to be a clear and compelling and aspirational description of what you want to achieve in the future. It's meant to be broad, ambitious, and future-focused. Using the analogy of video games, your vision is meant to be something like beating the game, saving the world, or saving the princess for those who grew up playing Mario. It's a broad vision of the future you hope to achieve. So what I want you to do is grab a sheet of paper and write down what your vision looks like. However, I recommend doing this in pencil because there's a good chance that your vision will start out a little bit rough and slowly come into focus as you move through the next couple of steps, which the next step we recommend is set the main quest objectives. Your vision is a broad achievement that is normally made up of multiple different goals or objectives. Think of these goals or objectives as checkpoints along your journey. Sticking with the video game analogy, your vision is to beat the game. However, beating the game entails achieving both small and large objectives or goals. To beat the original Super Mario Bros., you had to save the princess, but that required beating levels, defeating enemies, and conquering Bowser in the end. However, planning your perfect scouting year is more akin to a modern RPG. You have to do both main quest objectives and side quests in order to get the full experience. The main quest objectives move the story along towards achieving the vision of beating the game, while side quests add to the experience and even help you develop certain skills that may come in handy in the future. When planning your perfect program year, you should focus first on those main quest objectives, such as the required adventures in Cub Scouts or the requirements for rank advancements in Scouts BSA. On your piece of paper, write down the main quest objectives and events that you must have in your scouting program. For example, something such as a camp out, service project, summer camps, and for my den leaders, the Pinewood Derby and Blue and Gold are a must for your scouting program. In our next video, I'm going to talk about planning the ultimate Blue and Gold for February, so be on the lookout for that one. Examples of this include district events, special hikes such as the STEM hike my pack took in DC last year, or something like the Resource Steward Scout Ranger program put on by the National Park Service. These events are not necessarily required for advancements unless they are fulfilling some sort of hiking requirement, but they add to the scouting journey nonetheless. Look to place these side quests into empty areas on your calendar. And pro tip, you do not need to fill every available weekend with a scouting event. I love scouting, which is obvious from me starting this YouTube channel that you should totally subscribe to and share with your scouting friends. But even I need a weekend or two from scouting to get things done around the house or simply just relax and reset. Now that you have a list of main quest objectives and side quests, it's time to set the specific goals to serve as checkpoints for you along the way as you work towards your vision. And Scouts BSA, much like corporate America or the US military, teaches the techniques of SMART goals. You get an in-depth lesson about SMART goals in Wood Badge. Back to Gilwell, happy land. But here's a quick crash course. SMART goal stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Now, let's go over each of these individually. Specific. Specific means having a clearly defined outcome versus a vague result. An example of this is I will earn the rank of Eagle Scout, which is specific, versus I will do well in scouting, which is actually pretty vague. Measurable. Measurable is a metric you will use to track your progress. An example of this is I will earn 3 merit badges, which is measurable, versus I want to earn some merit badges this year, which isn't clearly defined or measurable. Achievable. Achievable means the goal is realistic given the time and resource constraints. For example, a Life Scout saying I will complete my service project for Eagle within 3 months is very achievable, versus a Tenderfoot saying I want to finish my Eagle Scout rank in a month, which is very unrealistic. Relevant. Relevant means that the goal is applicable to achieving your overall vision. You could say something like, I'm going to go to summer camp this year, which is relevant to your vision, versus I will run a marathon this year, which is irrelevant to your vision. Finally, time-bound. Time-bound is a specific timeline you will meet to achieve the goal. An example of this is I will earn 3 merit badges by June of 2025. A poor example is I will earn a couple of merit badges over the next year. As I said earlier, having established SMART goals is like setting checkpoints in a video game. You know you have to meet certain objectives along the way, and this kind of helps keep you on track. If you'd like me to do a more in-depth explanation of SMART goals, please leave a comment down below. The final item that you need to consider is flexibility and adaptability. There's an old saying in the military that a plan never survives first contact. Or better yet, sticking with the whole video game theme, going with Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Your program should have some flexibility to allow for unforeseen events such as weather, sickness, or injuries. It is also recommended that you have similar events throughout the year to allow scouts the best opportunity to meet rank requirements. For example, if you had only one service project for the year and it happened to fall on a date that one of your scouts could not attend, that scout may not make rank that year. Or worse, they become so discouraged that they end up leaving the program altogether. Imagine playing a video game that did not allow for retries of different levels. Most video games have multiple opportunities to complete objectives, and your scouting program should have multiple similar events. This allows the best opportunity for kids to reach those different rank requirements and objectives and progress through their scouting journey and the program. By this point, you should have a more focused vision, your main and side quest objectives outlined, and incorporated some flexibility into your plan. All that is left is for you to write it down and vote on it with your leadership team. Now let's get out there and plan those perfect scouting years. With that, I've been Matt with the Roaming Scouter, and I'll see you out there.